You'll notice things are a little different. This is actually a different week. Dillon's back. He had to do some extra work at his normal job, and we all work 40-hour plus jobs. We're just doing this on the side, so this is the only day that we get to do this. So anyway, long story short, Renee is off on an adventure, and Dillon and I are going to finish disassembling the engine. And something that I had noticed the last time, and I'm going to mention to Dillon, just because it's his engine, someone had put some money into this. And like I told him, one of the problems is they didn't put quite enough money in the valve train, and that's what ultimately caused this to fail. I showed you on some other footage where the piston got beat up from the valve breaking off. But looking through the engine, we got 2 of the pistons out. Dillon's going to be disassembling the rest. But one of the things I noticed, if I can turn it over, and no I can't. Okay. If you look right here, Dillon,
Yeah.
see those grind marks?
Yep.
That means this engine has been balanced.
Yeah.
Keep that, you'll need that.
Okay.
Which is a good thing. We're probably going to have to rebalance it again because we're going to be changing pistons. But
And I'd assume
can't
the
be
reason
helped.
you want an engine balanced is so then it's not knocking back and forth in the wrong spots.
Well, you want smoothness. The smoother everything goes, the longer it's going to last.
Yeah.
So if you've got stuff that is a little off balance, which this is going to be better than what a factory balance was. So theoretically it's going to last longer than what the factory had.
Okay.
So one of the things I meant to do, we need to find a way of turning this over. I think I saved, if I could find it, the bolt that goes into the front of the crankshaft here. Oh, there it is. I cleverly hit it on the engine. Okay. So that's another thing that made me realize someone put some money into it. This is not a stock fastener. It's actually stronger than
What they usually come with?
yeah. And ironically, it's almost like the same person built this engine that built my Corvette engine, because the Corvette engine also had some money put into it, got balanced, had some non-stock fasteners that were improved, but the top end was stock, which it's almost like they ran out of money. I don't know. So anyway, what we're going to do now is, hopefully I have the right size. No, I don't. Cool.
That's okay.
Oh,
With the power of editing, you
yeah,
can do anything.
power of editing. All right, looks like this is, yeah. All right, so what we'll do is tighten this down until it bottoms out.
Okay.
And then we should be able to rotate the engine. Theoretically. Theoretically. All right, that's... I don't remember how I rotated it last time. A
Is
week
there-
has gone by, so...
Is there a gear that, or a type of tool that you can use that you
Well,
moves the gears?
There's
or-
actually a socket that you can buy that goes over this that I don't have, that I'm strongly considering buying right now.
Will that be?
There.
Oh, okay, cool. Is that a universal socket?
No, it's not
or-
universal. You have to get it according to the engine, and mainly we're going to be putting together small block Chevy, big block Chevys, and Pontiacs. That's a little teaser as to what will be coming on the channel, unfortunately much later. Looks like someone is interesting. There's 2 dimples here. This is number 1 piston, that's number 2 piston. There's one dimple here, two dimples there. And nothing like that. See, this rod might be, this is the bad one.
Yeah. But that was the shaving that you were talking about.
Yeah, which I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but you can see
Get a little closer here.
here
Up.
where it got ground down, weight was taken away. And but unfortunately, one of the things you also see is those blue marks.
That's kind of hard to see, but there are blue marks on there. But trust us.
That means the rod got overheated. The rod's probably trashed. We'll let the machine shop determine that, but that would be my guess. So, all right, one of the things we're going to do, go ahead and, well, I'll show you how to.
So I don't know what this is.
This is a torque wrench.
Okay.
And what it does is it measures how much force. And in this case, I am interested in how much force it takes to undo it. Is what you do is, this is your pivot point. So you don't want it touching there or there.
Okay.
You want it floating. And that gives you the correct reading. And this will actually bend. This doesn't. And it shows the reading on what it takes to, in this case, we're wondering about unfastening. Because I have a feeling that this also has non-stock. When I took the other two pistons out, it seemed like it took a lot to unfasten them, more than stock is, because I think stock is like 35 pounds on the torque. And I wasn't thinking, thankfully, before we fully disassemble this engine, I can at least get a reading off of a couple of pistons. I think it's got non-stock rod bolts that are, they'll have a higher torque value.
Oh, okay.
So we're going to check and see 20, yep. Yeah, there's 40, 45. Okay, that is not stock.
Okay.
So we'll keep that in mind. Probably have to write it down somewhere. But I'll let you go ahead, and now that you know what to do, I'll let you use that to
Yeah, it's close to 45 on that.
okay. I think that, like because I just put together an engine with the ARP soft fasteners, and I think they were like 44 is what they said to do. So we'll keep this in mind when we go to assemble the engine. If we assemble it. Now I might have the machine shop do it. Okay. Go ahead and unloosen these two.
Unlisten them or double check to see if they're going to be the same.
Now, check see this. If there's, I have a feeling they are.
Yep, about 45.
Okay. Good to know. Okay. Now that we've got them loose,
Sockets.
yeah.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Once I switch to the correct socket. You should be able to just, and it'll go a little quicker. I've actually got air tools that I could use to disassemble this, but I don't want to hear the air compressor run.
Yeah.
And don't lose that. That's
Vital.
very vital. Matter of fact, the last video we dropped one down in here. We're gonna have to retrieve once we're done.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see what's missing up there.
Yeah. So keep that. And it's also a good chance to take a look at the bearing. You can see the scratch where it went down to copper.
Yeah.
Means a piece of dirt got in there. You could probably run it for hundreds of thousands of miles, but we're going to be replacing the bearings.
Okay.
All right. So, now the fun part. Let's go ahead and put crank throw all the way up. And I'll show you why. Alright, what you're going to do now, you get the hammer out. I'll do the first one,
Okay.
and then I'll let you do the other ones. And see, this is an old hammer handle. We're using wood, so we don't hurt anything. And we want to make sure, be very careful not to have these right against the journals.
Okay. And what are the journals?
This is the journal is the bearing surface of the crankshaft.
Okay.
And there's a journal there, and this is the journal for the connecting rod, and then we'll get into later, you see the journal for the main rod, what holds the crankshaft into place. But for now, we're just trying to get the pistons out of the way.
Okay.
Matter of fact, I should have done this last time. Alright, so I've got to find some 3/8 line. Yeah, we're deacon. If you see the camera move, it's because we've got our shop dog walking through here, and he doesn't understand that he can't touch the...
I'm trying to give you pets, and you're like walking into the camera. Deacon. Over. Move there. There we go. Here, stay right here. I will touch you. Stop. Stop walking into that. No, I'm not trying to distract you from anything that Dad's doing. Ah.
Okay. Alright, what I should have done before,
Okay, Deacon. Yeah.
what I'm going to take care of now,
Shh, hold on. I gotta readjust just in case. Okay, we're okay.
Deacon's Tale of Doom takes care of a lot of stuff. Okay, so I happen to know that these fasteners are 3/8 diameter. So what you do is you take some fuel line, that's 3/8, and then snip it off. Everything's cold here today, so it's not that I'm that wimpy. It's just it's pretty frozen. So we'll take about the same length. Doesn't have to be exact. Okay, slide that on there. Now we don't have to worry about scratching the journals, which is good, because now you get to pound the heck out of stuff. Yeah, go ahead and push down. Matter of fact, you might want to get on this side.
Okay. Here, I've got these still, so thank you.
Don't lose them.
No.
Okay, so you get on this side, and what I do is I always catch the piston with my leg,
Oh, okay.
but you can do whatever you want.
Since there's two of us right now.
Yeah. So what you do,
And the camera's not in a position that's able to show it, but right now I'm cupping underneath here to make sure when it drops down that we can just that I can just catch it.
and we should be able to tap out. Is it moving?
Yeah, it's moving down.
Okay.
I mean, you're just losing pieces of wood, so I'm sure that's not the problem.
Nope.
Okay.
Okay.
And here we have that out. And we'll be able to reuse these guys for the other one, right?
Well, see, I'm not sure. Because it looks like these
No, I mean,
are...
sorry, these
Oh, yeah,
guys.
those,
yeah.
yes.
That one I don't know.
The pistons, they look to be, they're definitely dished, which I understand why people do, but we don't need to in this case. And it's definitely a cast piston. And I want at least to put, okay, before you do that,
Okay.
there's a right way and a wrong way. If you look, you can see the chamfer
Okay.
is bigger.
Yeah.
The chamfer goes towards this, so that you can see, because you don't want any sharp edges if you can help it in an engine.
Right.
So when they're cutting it, they put a little bit of a slope in it. And if they were to cut it all the way through and then just raise the tool up, you'd have this really square spot. Well, that's a perfect spot for the crank to break.
Yeah.
So they leave a little metal in, put a radius in it. So what you want to look for, see the matching radius.
Right.
Sometimes it's a little hard to tell, you have to keep looking. But in this case, it's there's no radius on this side at all. So you want to match radius to radius.
The only thing I was going off of before was the little bit that had the dirt in it.
Yeah,
And
which,
I wouldn't have to normally match it up with that, but
well, and when you're assembling, you won't have that.
yeah.
Also, too, something that they did as good practice, they marked number 1 and number 1.
Uh-huh.
Not very well, but that's
Yeah.
what it is. And you want to match those up if for some reason you can't.
Okay.
So now we'll switch sides and you get to do the other one.
Okay.
I did lose quite. This is an old hammer handle. I fully expect to have it destroyed eventually. It's gone through, I think this is its 4th engine, so that's fine. You want something that won't harm the metal parts, but gets the job done. So I use a piece of wooden dowel if I can find it. I just happen to have a broken hammer handle.
Not losing it.
Yeah, don't lose that. And we'll, again, we don't want to hurt the metal parts. Thank you for being in the way, Deacon. So I'm just going to tap that with the rubber mallet. I always end up with a bunch of tools on the engine. I've actually got a cart I could roll up over there, but it's holding the stereo right now. But anyway, you can see no deep scratches. So
No.
it was just a piece of dirt that got in there.
Yeah.
Not good, but not the end of the world. So go ahead and put those on there
Oh, right. Yeah.
to. Yeah, you might want to not put any oily stuff on
sorry.
the bare fiberglass.
My apologies.
It's going to make it a little harder for the paint to stick once I do paint this.
Okay. That's as far as I can go on that.
Alright, so we'll actually use any hammer, but
Yeah.
we'll use this one. This one I'll go ahead and stick it all the way down to the piston. And if I remember, there's a certain part where
Where?
well, if I keep hammering, it sticks. So let's move that out of the way.
Is it the piece of wood that was in there?
No, it's the top of the rod, or the bottom.
Oh, I
The
see.
bottom of the top of the rod is sticking, so we just need to. And there we go.
Okay.
Unstick that. All right. So since I don't have my tray, thankfully I'll be here to hold the tools. Go ahead and turn it over. We want to get this right there. So go ahead and,
Right here.
uh,
Oh.
yeah.
The other one?
Because remember, they're torqued down, so you won't be able to do it with the 3/8 or the 1/4 inch.
Yeah. Hold on. I know we already figured out what it is.
We do, but this is actually good practice for you, so that's why I'm, go ahead and keep it up.
Okay, so it did show 45 again,
Okay,
or at least in the ballpark.
alright, so go ahead and do the next one. We just need it loose enough that we can use the 1/4 inch.
Yeah. That was almost 50.
Okay.
So some of these are on there more than they need to be.
Well,
From-
that would be. Alright, we have no idea what might have gotten missed. We'll try to remember any pearls of wisdom. But one of the things that was a little different on doing this piston out is the rod bolt slid right out, which is supposed to be pressed in there. And I can put it in with my thumb. That's not good. That's another thing we'll address with the machine shop. But another reason I could tell that these are aftermarket bolts is it's got more of a chamfer
Can you hold it up a little higher? There we go.
on
Yep.
this side, and that's to clear the longer stroke in the crankcase. And I don't remember that the stock ones had that much of a chamfer. I think what these rod bolts are for, when you put a 3.75 stroke from a 400 into a 350 block, real popular, makes it a 383. And I think that's what these rod bolts are for. It's the most common type. So anyway, we'll put this back on. I don't remember where the other part
It's
went.
down there.
Oh, it's there. That's right.
Where everything else is going.
Yeah,
Catch all.
our wishing well. So chamfer to chamfer. Double check the numbers. Number 5 bolts. Number 5 rod. Okay. And if need be, I can just clip off some more fuel line.
Yeah.
But let's see if we can fish it out. Did you get it?
Yeah.
Cool. Alright.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that's not the case with any of the other, but I mean, overall, these things will still have to be worked over, right, in some way.
They will, and that's why we'll just notify the machine shop.
Not things addressed.
Quite honestly, since I only have $10 into this so far, I told the story about that on the other piece of video we have, so you can integrate however you want in the editing.
Yeah.
But this was actually in an airboat,
Oh.
and it was the guy's father. His dad had passed, so he was clearing out his dad's garage. And this was in his dad's airboat. Had it built. It was a 400 on Craigslist for $10.
Wow.
And I called the guy. I says, "Is this for real?" He says, "Yeah, I've dropped a valve. No one wants it." I said, "All right, I'll be out."
Yeah.
So I paid $10 for it, and the guy also sold me a flywheel that his dad had bought but never used, and that was for a 400 also, but I ended up having that rebalanced by the machine shop, because a 400 has because of this longer stroke, it has to have a counterbalance on the harmonic balancer that goes on the front, and also a flywheel or the flex plate.
Okay.
You have an automatic on the back, and
I think you've got all the hammer.
I do. So I will. No,
Since I'm holding these things.
yeah, no.
Oh,
It's
okay.
just this is the part we're ruining right now.
Oh, gotcha.
But all the other smaller small blocks are neutral balanced. They don't need that huge counterbalance weight. So what I did is I had him neutral balance it,
Yeah.
and I got that's the flywheel that's on the Corvette now. Did that one?
Nope. It just it slid through a lot better
Oh.
than the other
Okay.
pistons.
All right. Well,
Pistons, right?
yes.
I want to make sure I'm using the native tongue.
That's how I learned. First engine I took apart was for my Firebird, which, giving away a little bit on the channel, I also own a '67 Firebird, and we will be having that on the channel, just not right now, because we've got this stuff we need to get out of the way.
It's stuck.
It's stuck. So let me see. How do I want to do this? Trying to. Sometimes you just use what you got available, and you can see where that's jammed up against there too.
Yeah.
So rather than keep hammering,
I think you're going to be the one who's get that out of there.
Yeah. well, here, tap the piston back up a little bit.
Okay.
Hold on. Might not be. It's jammed in there pretty good.
No, I just haven't technical.
Don't do this at home, kids.
Do you want to grab
I'm not sure. I'm so glad we can edit this out.
right? Let's throw it in the bloopers.
So you can tap the piston up a little bit more. No, it might be the rings are out. So you won't. You won't.
I won't. Oh, if it's pop. Oh, it is pops.
Yep.
Kind of.
You want to show the humiliation?
Yeah. Do we want like a wrench to pull on it, or?
I'm just trying to get some room.
Yeah.
See how it's turning easier since we don't have as many pistons on there?
Right.
So that's good. So glad I don't care about that hammer handle.
Yeah.
Hold on.
There we go. That's what we needed. Just a little extra. Okay, good.
Like such an idiot.
Well, let's pump this up just a
Well.
little bit and make sure. Okay, we're good.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. Up with editing, this takes half the time.
Yeah. Alright. Checking the chamfer. There we go. I don't remember what happened to the nuts.
They're in my hands.
Oh, okay.
They've been there the whole time, thankfully.
Okay.
I'm not dropping anything for now. I know I will, but... well, I don't want to force it.
No, you don't.
But as long as it sits in there.
Yep.
Oh,
Okay, last two out.
that's me.
Yep. So I'll hold the rubber guides, whatever we want to call them. The journal savers.
Well, they're protection, and they're made of rubber, so
Yeah.
rubbers, right?
They're rubbers, yeah. Yeah, by the way, Trojan, if you want to sponsor us, since we're showing everybody how to be safe.
Yep. Protection is key.
Yeah.
And when you don't want to be working on an engine alone, don't use a Trojan condom.
Yes. I'd go ahead, since you got it in your hand, I'd go ahead and do the other side.
It seemed like it almost popped up to 60, but that could have just been force,
It did.
right?
Well, and also breakaway torque is going to be higher, but these are still way higher than stock. So these are good rod bolts, so it's a good sign. But what I was saying before is, since I've only got $10 into this engine, we can afford to put a lot
Yeah.
and not break the bank. But a lot of these parts, the engine had such low hours, we can reuse a lot. The balancer, the timing chain and gears, the oil pump. I'll double check that. I'm pretty sure the oil pump's good. While Dillon's doing that, I mentioned this last time. This camshaft is not factory. And I looked up the numbers. And it's a Comp Cams Marine Cam, which would make sense for being in an airboat. But it is so mild.
And what do you mean by mild? Like,
Well, this determines how far it lifts the valve,
yeah.
the cam lobe, and how long. See, it's got kind of a, not really sharp, but kind of a narrow point.
Yeah.
A higher performance camshaft will have more, it'll keep the valve open longer, as well as lifting it higher.
Okay. As the
And-
kids would say, that's mid.
Yeah, this engine probably put out about 350 to maybe 360 horsepower, which, it's okay. Stock, I think this thing put out 265, so it was definitely more than what it used to be. But we're going to be doing 425 on the horsepower for your truck, so it'll be a little bit more. And one of the ways you do that is with a different camshaft. So if we were reusing that camshaft, and it's in fine shape, I don't know what we're going to do it for. It's actually about the size of camshaft that's in the Corvette right now. Okay, and as you can see, it looks pretty good.
That one was good too.
Yeah.
Thankfully, it's just that one set there.
Yeah, if it wasn't for that one journal, I'd reuse every one of these. But we're not. Like I said, I can afford the bearings.
too far because don't want to encounter the same problems we were having before.
Yep. There we go.
I was gonna pull them off.
Oh.
Sorry.
Communicate.
What?
Use your words. Oh, now Deacon's whining to get inside. Yeah, I want to hear it.
There.
Okay.
Yeah, well, if we let you go inside, Deacon, then you're gonna be upset that we're out here still,
Yeah.
and we're gonna hear the same thing. It's. I got gloves. The gloves are hard to use.
Mm-hmm. You definitely lose a lot of feel.
I think you see what I meant with that.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes you can turn the nut over. Sometimes not.
Huh?
Doesn't matter. All right.
That one had a tiny bit.
Yep.
But nothing bad.
Mm,
There.
it was just. There, we'll go ahead. Give a little more room. And we're just about done with the last one.
Okay.
It's okay, we don't need any more anymore.
No.
Alright. Jennifer. Now, we don't need these anymore either. Now we get to disassemble, get the crankshaft up. See if I would just try to unfasten it, it would just turn. So
Right.
I'm hoping do a little sharp blow, shock it. Is that working?
It's still moving just a little bit on my end. I'm sure it will.
There we go. Just so I don't forget it in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a nice aftermarket bolt too. So they did pretty good on some of the hardware, some of it not.
Deacon.
Sorry, sorry, Deacon. I don't mean to
be in your way.
Yeah, don't need to put my feet where you want to stand. Just gonna pull up this seal that we no longer need.
Oh,
Use something utterly overqualified. There we go, just toss that.
okay.
And then I see the screwdriver I could have used. Anyway. Alright, so with this, these are obviously stock.
Okay.
And that's fine. They worked. Rod bolts are a weak spot on most engines. That's why you'll see people putting the, I'm just looking, see if I can see any signs of, well, we got some surface rust because we got some leakage in the roof here.
Yeah.
That's why I put the bag on and I noticed that was happening. I'm not really seeing any signs of the crankshaft being balanced. I mean, this looks to be from the factory.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not seeing any signs of any grind marks or something. Well, I don't know if that's factory. That they might have lightened. So these could be where it was balanced.
Gotcha. Like
Yeah.
and this one.
Yeah. Yeah, that looks deeper than factory. So yeah, okay, the crankshaft's been balanced. So what we'll do, since I'm too lazy to go get the correct socket, I'm not going to go get the correct socket. Okay, so as always, use the correct tools. So we'll just take and well, you know what, for giggles, let's see what the torque is on that. I'll just check one of them. It's not
Oh,
the
that's
right,
right.
different
Yeah,
size.
this is from that one.
Yeah. So just see what it should be, like 65. 80, okay. Those don't look like aftermarket fasteners though. Interesting.
That's closer to 70.
Okay.
So.
That doesn't make me feel good about whoever put this engine together, and I have no idea. So, from what I could tell, it was a production shop.
Yeah, up to 70 on that one.
Okay, that's more normal, because it's 65 to torque it, and the breakaway torque should be a little higher.
That was 80.
Weird. So these two were 80, those two were 70. Interesting.
From the breakaway, it's probably closer to 75. Oh, that goes up to 85.
Huh. Interesting. So this side seems to be higher. I wonder if that has anything to do with the way the block is set up. I mean, you wouldn't.
That was
you wouldn't.
closer to 60 right there.
That's not good.
About 75 there.
So that one's a little low compared to the other ones. Interesting.
About 70.
Okay.
About 75. Oh, I want this back for you.
Trade you. All right. I'm just guessing, but I'm thinking that someone wasn't paying attention when they were torquing. Alright, so what we do with these, loosen them up all the way. And, a few scratches from dirt. And double check. See the arrow pointing forward?
Yeah.
Shows the direction that towards the front of the engine.
Gotcha. Okay, we're still good.
But what I wanted to see, and they're not numbered. So we need to make sure we keep them in the same order.
Okay.
And then we'll put them back on, and so we don't lose them. And then let Deacon knock it over again. Okay, and this is what I was going to show you. The front one didn't have it.
Yeah.
This one, it's kind of stuck. So what you do is you put the bolt, pick the bolts up,
Yeah.
just knock it.
Pretty soft now.
Theoretically, with the heel of your hand,
Then
we'll
we
use the
rubber mallet.
rubber mallet again. Sometimes they're stuck. They do fit down into the block. See that step
Yeah.
there? Again, looks pretty good. So we'll put that in the same order behind.
Mm-hmm.
And see how that's spread apart further.
Yeah.
It needs to take more load.
Gotcha.
Some engines have them numbered. Okay. There you go. Pretty consistent.
That's gonna be easier with that.
Yep.
I got lucky.
But yes, you can, it should be. Now that's interesting. Because, yeah, well, we just had,
Odd.
when it was bolted in, it was turning very easily.
I was just seeing if I could just figure it loosen it.
You can Rambo it out.
Yeah. Deep. Thanks. I don't know if it was just for position or.
No, actually, what you need to worry about is side to side.
Okay. That one's gonna be a little bit more obvious, but
Yep. The first and the last ones are really easy to figure out.
that looks like it. Is that from dirt
That's
in
from
there?
dirt, yep.
Okay.
Okay, so, looks like the engine was, it's filthy in the garage right now, but we're not assembling, we're disassembling, so.
It wasn't us.
Very nice. Okay, so now, I'll let my young son lift out the crankshaft, just go straight up.
Not
We'll
trying
put-
to not.
we'll put that on there.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the hand, the right hand, yeah, put it on the end.
I felt like that one was gonna be more obvious.
Alright, and you can see, wow.
So where they cut into it, or is
Yeah,
that
looks
just?
like that might be from balancing. Interesting. But what you can tell is the mains are cut 10 thousandths under, and the rods are cut 10 thousandths under according to the markings.
Okay.
And 400 Chevy, yeah, which we knew. All right, you can put that on the correct rod wherever it happens to be.
There it is.
And what I'm going to do for Dillon, now that we've got this all out, we'll turn this back over and I'll show him where the damage was. Because I showed him before, but it wasn't as apparent.
What's that for?
That is the guide for the oil dipstick tube.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's supposed to be there. If I ever hit the lottery, I'll get one of those. All my engine stands will have the crank with the gear. All right, so might be on your side.
There's
Let me get a. Well,
a flashlight on the ground right here.
yeah, I knew there was one. Somewhere around here. Okay, this side has the crack.
Okay.
So come on over here.
As long as Deacon doesn't mess up the camera with you. Okay. Oh yeah, I see that.
So what happened, and it's cracked there and there.
Yeah.
So what the machine shop does is bores it out oversize, has a metal sleeve
Yeah.
that it sticks down in there and the machines correctly.
Okay.
But talking to the machine shop, one of the problems was pressing in on either side. The piston or the cylinders on either side are going to be distorted a little bit, and they'll have to go in and rehone them, which I told them was no trouble. When I told him I only had $10 into the block, he just laughed and says, "Yeah, we can experiment a little."
Yeah.
But having said that, the only thing I don't like about this block is it's been bored 40 thousandths over.
Which means.
Well, it's been rebuilt probably twice. And I don't know why, but usually people will go 30 thousandths over on a rebuild, and then the second rebuild they go 40 thousandths over. Don't ask me why. I actually had one of these remember in the Monte Carlo.
Okay. Yeah.
That one was actually 60 thousandths over, and we ran it for over 100,000 miles. And it did eventually fail, but that engine didn't owe us anything. So I'm going to check with the machine shop, and they'll need to look at it. But if they can sleeve it and keep everything 40 thousandths over, we'll get new pistons, get it rebalanced, new rings, new bearings, and different camshaft. And have this set up eventually for around 425 horsepower. 425 to 450. It'll be fun. But if for some reason that doesn't work, I've got a 350 over there, which we can put even, I'd have to check, we might be able to put this crank in it after machining it down and make it into a 383, which will be down a little bit, but we can easily do 425 horsepower, have a fine driving engine. We've got options. I'd rather use this just because got such a good deal on it, but if we don't, we don't. We'll find out once we get it to the machine shop. So I'm going to flip it back over. Let's put the main caps back on.
Main caps? What am I
That-
looking for?
That was what we took off to take the crankshaft out.
Oh, okay. The ones that we want to make sure are in the same, or the correct position.
Yep. Good old hard Harbor Freight.
Okay. So,
So that one we know where it goes. Really easy. Just finger tighten them.
oh, okay.
Because depending on how bad the scratches are, the crankshaft looked okay to me, but they might need to polish it at the very least. We'll let them decide. The machine shop we've got in town, which I've got their permission later, I'll mention. They've done a fair amount of work for me. I wish they could be doing more, but money dictates I have to wait a little bit. But I trust him, so whatever he says we'll go. And then we'll decide where we're going to go on the engine. But for now, that's the end of the video. We'll definitely update you to let you know what's going on with the engine. It's going to be a while before this thing runs though, but we wanted to get this out of the way so we knew which way to go.